Rich Van Tassel with you, giving you our preview and game picks for now week 5 of the NFL season as we're cruising right along, and we are also recording audio for Get Live Radio. The first week of bye weeks this week, the bye teams are the Atlanta Falcons, Denver Broncos, New Orleans Saints, and Washington Redskins. Our first game up, the Buffalo Bills, surprising 3-1, travel to Cincinnati to play the Bengals, who are 1-3. Buffalo is 1-1 on the road. They come off that big road victory against the Atlanta Falcons last week. The Cincinnati Bengals are 0-2 at home. Injuries for the Buffalo Bills: E.J. Gaines, cornerback; Cordy Glenn, offensive tackle; Micah Hyde, safety; Sharice Rice, cornerback, are questionable. Jordan Matthews, wide receiver, is out. For the Bengals, all listed as out: Tyler Eifert, tight end; John Ross, wide receiver; Darren Smith, safety; Ryan Hewitt, tight end. Those offensive injuries are going to be serious for the Cincinnati Bengals as their offense has struggled all year. They broke out of it against the Cleveland Browns, but the Browns are not a good team, so we'll have to keep an eye on how much they're improved. Buffalo has been very good on the defensive side of the ball this year. I like the change that McDermott has brought as the head coach. Could this be Buffalo's year where they finally break through? We'll have to see. Certainly a loss to a Cincinnati Bengals team would hamper that, and I don't expect that to happen. They are going on the road, but this is one to keep an eye on. This is very big for the Buffalo Bills to come away with it. I expect that they do. I think it's going to be tight. I think Cincinnati's got a lot to play for still at 1-3. They're trying to pull themselves out of the hole, but Buffalo will come away with the victory as they did last week against the Atlanta Falcons 24-20, and Tyrod Taylor makes enough plays. The New York Jets, a very surprising 2-2, 0-2 on the road, travel to Cleveland to play the Browns, who are 0-4, 0-2 at home. Injuries for the visiting Jets: Matt Forte, running back; Darrell Roberts, cornerback; Coney Ealy, defensive end; Josh Martin, linebacker, are out. Muhammad Wilkerson, defensive end, questionable. For the Cleveland Browns, Dominique Alexander, linebacker, is an IR out. Kenny Britt, wide receiver, questionable. Jamie Collins, senior, the pass rushing linebacker, is doubtful. Cleveland is a bad team. I don't know who's going to start for them at quarterback. I would be shocked if they don't bench Sean Kaiser at this point. That experiment is just not working. You look at it, almost as many incompletions as completions, 73 completions on 142 passes, 3 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, just not going to get the job done. Josh McCown has been proficient. The Jets have had a pretty soft schedule these last couple weeks. It continues with the Cleveland Browns, and the Jets, for no reason, unless they completely lay an egg, will actually move to 3-2 this season with a victory over the Browns. I'd like 24-14. Cleveland's offense will again struggle. They just don't have it right now, and things are starting to get bad in Cleveland. They better figure out what they want to do and do it fast. The Carolina Panthers are 3-1. They are 2-0 on the road. They travel to Detroit to play the Lions, who are 3-1, 1-1 at home. Injuries for the visiting Panthers: Julius Peppers, defensive end, questionable. Demetrius Cox, safety; Ryan Khalil, center; Kirk Coleman, safety, are all out. Deshaun Hall, a defensive end, is an IR out. For the Detroit Lions, all listed as questionable: TJ Lang, guard; Haloti Ngata, defensive tackle; Jared Davis, linebacker; Travis Swanson, center; and Tahir Whitehead, a linebacker. Detroit is getting the job done. Golden Tate has certainly emerged as a top target for Matthew Stafford, but he is distributing as he has done all season and needs to do, with the no real main go-to guy as good as Golden Tate is. He has 7 touchdowns to 1 interception, a little high in the incompletions, but not terrible. He's getting the job done. Cam Newton, of course, all the comments he made on Tuesday, that is what it is. As for the game, his offense, they made him run last week against the New England Patriots. I think they had a shot to win that game, and they said, hey, we don't care what happens to Cam Newton at this point, and clearly he got the job done. Let's see if they try to revert back to that old offensive style that they were playing, the old offensive style before this season, where they came in and then played that, of course, against New England. If they continue to try with the short passes, or if they want to just throw a band into the wind and say, look, we're 3-1 and we're going to do what we have to do. Detroit at home, a good team. It is going to be a tough game for them, but Matt Stafford again makes the plays, and the Detroit Lions come away with the victory. I expect a high-scoring game. I expect Carolina to open up their offense. 31-27. The Detroit Lions get the victory. The San Francisco 49ers 0-4 0-2 on the road, travel to Indianapolis to play the Colts, who are 1-3, 1-1 at home. Injuries for the visiting 49ers. Reuben Foster, linebacker. Eric Reed, safety. Adrian Colbert, cornerback. Dakota Watson, linebacker, are out. Marquise Goodwin, wide receiver, questionable. For the Colts, Jack Doyle, tight end. Nate Hairston, cornerback, are out. Matt Jones, running back, doubtful. Chester Rogers, wide receiver. Rashawn Melvin, cornerback, are questionable. San Francisco, this has got to be their first win of the season. If not, it could completely spiral out of control. I'm not expecting much from them, but they've shown improvement in times. Brian Hoyer has got to play better. 2 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Indianapolis does not have a good defense. They should be able to find their way. San Francisco is missing a lot on the defensive side of the ball, including 2 of their best players, Eric Reed at safety and Reuben Foster at linebacker. With that being the case, they will establish Carlos Hyde in this game. They're going to soften up the Colts defense by running the ball with Carlos Hyde, establish him, and then they'll open things up for Brian Hoyer, and they will pass the ball late. San Francisco has to be their first win of the season. They don't drop to 0-5. They get the victory in this one, 24-21 over the Indianapolis Colts. Alright, so we will be back in just a little bit to continue on with our game picks for now week 5 of the NFL season. Thank you all so much.